We last left off, the battle had raged on as the party responded to the terror before them in kind. Renaer sprung into action, slaying the half-orc that menaced his friend, Floon Blackmar. The party eliminated the intellect devourer that had knocked down Nicholas, and then knocked down their paladin friend for fear that he might attack them again. The group then dealt with a grey ooze that had slipped under the bathroom door in the previously discovered sleeping chamber and knocked Siegfried unconscious. Upon destroying the ooze, the party regrouped and tended to their wounds, and then searched the main chamber, finding several useful items. After assessing Floon's condition, the party moved on, choosing to retrace their steps through the filthy sewers all the way back to where they descended from the alley in Greyflood. The characters then escorted Floon with Renaer's assistance back to the Grey Sword Tavern to collect their reward. Volo Thomp Gadarm was overjoyed by the group's efforts and rewarded them the promised 600 gold pieces, in addition to a special gift, the deed to a manor in Trollskull Alley, located in Cliffside. The deed was transferred over to the group with some assistance from Renaer, who used his personal family seal to make it official. The noble offered his services to the party should they need it in the future. The characters then traveled back to Redstone and visited Marius Lapel's shop, hoping to buy and sell items. The group sold off items they no longer needed and acquired some essentials. And the party is currently standing outside of Marius Lapel's wondrous wares, in the midst of the Redstone Square.
So, what's the plan for today?
Well, other than shopping, I have no need to do anything. We do have that deed, but other than that, I'm at a loss unless any of you need to do it.
Yes, I do need to go speak to Barnabas. Real quick. Check in with him.
I actually have a couple of things. I'm actually planning to go see my brother this evening, if you guys wanted to join. I was also thinking about checking out... This is great, you know, he had a couple, but I probably need a couple more. What about you guys?
Samael says, "I'm ready whenever you are." Didn't you have a weapon that you needed to pick up?
Oh yes, I need to go to my temple actually to pick that up. It sounds quite interesting from what you've told me about it, Samael.
Yeah, it seems kind of strange. You said something about it glowing. I don't remember seeing that.
Well, I mean, just in general, Dolahara is, you know, the goddess of light and the sun. So, I don't know, it might. I actually haven't seen it in person yet.
Well, I've seen it. It's hideous.
Alright. We'll see.
I'm not sure if you want it. We could always sell it here at this shop if you want. I bet he'll buy it for a nice price.
I think it sounds quite nice, based on what you've told me. Byron, what about you? Did you have anything to do today? I guess you probably need to go back to your mother-in-law with the cat?
Oh, yeah. Thanks. It's always a good reminder of, yeah, I gotta go do something. Yeah, if you're going to dilly-dally, I best, go and, see my lady and, visit the mother-in-law and see what she has going on.
Zara, as you're speaking to Byron, you notice an odd sight flying overhead over the square. You can't quite make it out. It's very small, but it appears to be something flying around in figure eights and circles above the party.
Do you guys see that? She point.
Let's see what.
Some sort of thing circling above us. I'm not sure. Can I make out any other details?
You can make a perception check if you like.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You see what appears to be what looks like a griffin, but it's much smaller. And of course, you would know through your basic general knowledge and studies as a cleric that griffins are typically large creatures. This one appears to be glinting in the sun as if it's armored. And as you stare at it, cupping your eyes with the bridge of your hand from the sun, it begins swooping down towards the party.
Oh, hello. It looks like an armed baby griffin. Watch out.
I'm gonna duck.
Siegfried backs up a bit with his hand towards the hilt.
The flying mechanical griffin, roughly the size of a large dog, swoops down and lands in front of the party. It appears to be a construct, and it folds its wings in to the side and regards Nicholas with a bow. The construct's eyes flash a bright green, emitting a beam of light that passes over the rogue. And after a moment, the beam deactivates, and its beak swings wide open, revealing some sort of grated device, and a voice begins to speak. Oh, hello. Greetings, Agent 12. I trust that you're well.
Yes, I am.
Progress report, please.
There's not much progress. We're still looking into the matter.
The griffin, as it listens to you, you can see it doing a little tappy-tappy with its front feet, like it's almost as if the construct is bored or restless. And you hear this tinny little voice emitting from its mouth, from its beak area. It says, "The client is getting restless. Rumor has it that an agent from the Serpentine Table has been sniffing around the lower wards. Also, Temba's niece, Lizzie, was observed at the Fiarlan Enclave earlier this morning. Do you know anything about this?"
No. But we can definitely go and investigate.
I am not certain what agent. It has been noted that it is a female.
A female agent?
Yes, not one of ours. It is most certainly from the Serpentine Table, House Filarin.
Probably.
At any rate, this is not my sole reason for being here. Obviously, I could not be there in person to deliver these items. And there's a mechanical ratcheting noise, and you notice a compartment opens up in the chest area of the construct. And you see a metal-banded darkwood box within the compartment. Here, these are for you. An attachment for your firearm that will dampen the noise it makes when fired. A fully stocked box of ammunition, and a grappling device for ascending and descending heights up to 60 feet. Grappling device and firearm attachment are both powered by dragon shards, of which you have been supplied with 2 additional loads per device. I'm sure that you can obtain more shards on your own. The loads are reusable, but you'll have to refine the dragon shards yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. It will become very, very handy for me.
Are you all right? You don't seem quite like yourself.
Yes, just a lot of things going on. We have many cases to track down and many people to find, and especially
Cases? I have not assigned you any more cases. What are you talking about?
Well, we just got a house and we got to fix that up too. It's gonna be, a place of rest.
I am confused, Agent 12. You are very confusing. The client is expecting results. Report in when you have completed your mission. Do you have any questions for me or the network?
No questions.
Very well. I will bid you adieu. And the griffin's compartment closes up once you remove the box from it, and it stretches out its wings and a loud ratcheting noise flaps 1, 2, 3, 4 times and lifts up into the air and begins flying away. And I will put those items into your inventory.
Thank you.
Siegfried gives by in a side glance and so, Nicholas, me and you, soon, we need to talk.
There's nothing to talk about.
Oh, but I think there is.
Oh, so you got fully instated, I see.
Yes,
Agent and all.
you can say that.
Listen, I don't have time to hang around with someone that's going to keep secrets. Especially when they don't even want it.
Let's just say, sometimes it's safer if you don't know.
Especially coming from someone with the opposite side.
Well, if you're on the opposite side than us, then that means you're out to hurt people.
No.
Actually, I would debate that. I think you guys are more of the ones that hurt people.
And what are you guys? I'm a simple bard. I simply wanted to know about who these people are talking about, because I am interested about that carnival which seems utmost suspicious.
I'm interested in finding out with the kidnapping. That's what kind of work I do.
Are you guys
Did
going
you
to fight?
just saw that?
Samael says, are you guys going to fight out here in the public? Because we can get down right now.
Yeah.
I'm always up for some physical combat.
On that note, yes. Let's stay focused on what we're here to do. I mean, we all just met each other yesterday. If we don't have to stay together. She kind of looks over the group. Unless, of course, we continue to find it, beneficial to all of us.
Not knowing if either of you two is going to stab me in the back in a moment's notice doesn't sound very beneficial.
Samael perks up and says, well, last I checked, you all just signed a document holding you together on some property. So
Yeah.
I feel like we'll be around each other for a little while longer at least.
That's kind of what I was afraid of.
And Zara, as you're looking
I feel like
behind, beyond Samael as he's speaking to you, you notice that what looks like, well, you're not quite sure what it is. It almost looks like a bird, but it's made of paper, and it's hovering about 5 feet away from the party.
Oh, hello. What's that?
Looks like someone's got it origami.
The moment that you notice it and begin staring at it intently, Zara, the paper bird begins flying around Samael's head. What is this? Devilry. And he begins swatting at it. And snatches it out of the air. And the moment he grabs it, the paper bird turns into a pentagonal square piece of parchment. Curious. Your name is on this, Zara.
Oh, and it might be from my brother. She takes it from him and looks it over.
The piece of parchment is in a script with sigils from what appears to be the sovereign host. And it says, Sir Samael, your presence is humbly requested at the pavilion of the host in Sovereign Towers. High Priest Thasso Morgan has asked that you please escort Zara Hyhiel, a vassal of Dol Ara, to the temple at your earliest convenience. Warmest regards, Warden Gaia Sothar. Samael perks up and says, we should probably keep moving soon. I feel like if we stand here any longer, somebody else is going to invite us to a party.
Yeah. Well, what's our schedule for the day? Schedule.
Did we get a time?
It is currently 11:15 a.m.
All right.
So, I mean, we can split in different directions if that would get things done a little faster.
Oh yes, splitting the party, that's always good. Well,
Looks like
It looks-
time is counting.
Samael perks up again. Well, it looks like you and I have a date, Zara. And he begins trudging off in one direction. And he turns around and he looks back at you and he says, unless the rest of you require my presence elsewhere.
Siegfried kind of just moves over to where Byron was and looks around for. Byron, where'd you go, Byron?
Well, he steps out and says, yeah, I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. You know, you guys bring trouble, it seems. You guys argue, complain, bicker back and forth. It just creates a scene. You know, we're not about making a scene because then everyone watches and everyone knows our business.
I tend to agree with that, actually, Byron. How about we all walk on being a little more subtle?
Yeah, if you want,
Yes,
if you want to bicker or
complain,
complain,
lying down is something.
And she gives a stink eye to Nickel.
Don't look at me. I didn't do anything.
Alright, well, it looks like I need to go to his temple, and it's pretty close by Dullahara. Would you guys like to join?
You know, I
Some,
talked with Linda. She's busy today, so I got time. I'll follow you around, I guess, for a little bit anyway. Remember, let's keep out of the public any dirt that we may want to splash at each other.
Siegfried, I've been meaning to ask you a question.
What is this, Samael?
Hello?
You know, it's come to my attention that we might need a more solid, reliable transportation in and around the city. Do you think that this Warforged driver could be hired as a regular, similar to that woman that nearly killed Nicholas that one time?
It's quite possible, though. Right now, the only person I necessarily can trust, well, the number of them is less than one hand's count, but I think we would be able to rely on Mr. R. And I agree. Staying nearer to Byron than anyone else at the moment.
I'm just saying, it'll probably take us an hour if we want to walk over to Sovereign Towers.
I don't know, ever since the GM started not role-playing Mr. R, I've been less wanting to use Siegfried takes out Mr. R's calling stone and calls them. Fine, but you're gonna have to give him the instructions in word.
As you pull out the sending stone, there's a brief pause, and then you hear the familiar voice of the tinny sound of the Warfedge. Ah, Sir Siegfried, it's you. I was just getting my legs oiled.
Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. Whenever it's convenient, your assistance is needed for a ride. And we're actually gonna be curious. We'll talk about this when you get here, about permanently requiring your services as part of a deal or contract, if you...
Oh, well, that's wonderful. I'm always looking for steady work, of course. Not many folk like to use my services, if you know what I mean.
I'm well aware of your situation, as sad as it may be.
Are you still in Redstone, Sir Siegfried?
Yes, we haven't gone anywhere very much. We're still by the shop that you left us down.
All right, I will be there as quickly as possible. Give me a few minutes, all right?
Take your time. Poorly oiled legs don't work out in the end. I'm going to assume...
So as you're waiting for the flying coach to arrive, looking around the square, you see various vendors peddling their wares, and you see what looks like a dragon-marked elf who appears to be dazzling passerbys with an illusory tableau of dueling dragons. And this display goes on for several minutes before the dueling dragons fade in a shower of multicolored sparks, and the dragon-marked elf bows deeply as the crowd begins showering him with coin. And finally, you hear the familiar sound of flapping of large wings, and the familiar coach glides to a stop in front of you. Whoa! Sassafras! That's a good girl! Ah, my friends, we meet again.
Hello, Mr. R.
Good day to you. Zara, was it?
Yes.
Oh, Madam Zara, it's good to see you. It's good to see you all. So Siegfried, you mentioned something about requiring my services for more than just a single ride at a time.
Yes, it would seem that a lot of our travels take us around the city. A lot of people have not noticed. We basically have used your service for all but maybe 2 trips that we've had so far in the city. So it would be in our best interest, and possibly yours, if we set some sort of system where, we don't have to either pay as much or call as much. Something that's more beneficiary for both of our times.
Well, to be quite honest, Sir Siegfried, things have been kind of tough for me. As you can see, the coach is needing a bit of work. My original employer has unfortunately decided to cancel their contract with me. I am no longer driving for a noble house or affiliated with any of the dragon-marked houses. So in order for me to continue my services, I would have to be hired on. Unfortunately, I wouldn't even be able to help you today with a ride without such a contract. Of course, for my friends, wink, wink, and he tries to wink, but he doesn't have an eye that can close or open, so he just kind of tilts his head to the side with a little jostle twice, and he actually says the words, wink, wink, and he goes, I could take a friend on a trip around the city all day. As long as you tell the authorities and you're able to convince them otherwise that you're paying customers and or possibly have me under contract.
Well, I believe we can work out a contract or so. I don't see a problem with that.
I would need a place to I've fallen on hard times for Sassafras and Ginger. I would need a place to stable them. You wouldn't happen to have a place that I could stable my vehicle and my
No.
animals, would you?
Now, Byron, this is a group decision. Not just me and not just you. We have to ask everyone else. Not just me, because I know how you feel and I understand it. I'm not going to undermine you, but this feels like a group decision that we all should.
Well, for one, we do need to fix up the place. And I'm kind of embarrassed already about having anybody stay there right now. We haven't even seen it ourselves.
Oh my! You have a property somewhere in the city?
Yes, we got it this morning.
Where's
Bit of
it
a
located?
surprise.
If you don't mind me asking, where's it located?
You're a little nosy, aren't you?
Well, I need to know if my couch will even fit.
And who said you're going to even park it at her? You're taking things for granted there, guy.
Oh, Byron.
I mean,
Listen, all of our names are on it. Like I said, we need a decision. If everyone's against it, we can hold off on any agreements until we get to where we want to be. We don't have to answer right now. This is something we can put on the back burner and discuss in depth later. We don't have to answer this now.
Well, let me ask him a couple questions if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. It was
So during
Byron.
the war, what did you do?
Byron, wasn't it?
Yeah. During the
Yes.
war, what did you do?
Oh, during the war, I was a coachman. I worked for the city here in Sean. I've actually never left the city. It's kind of embarrassing. I was born here in the city. Down below in the cogs.
What district?
Well, it's directly below Lower Tavik's Landing, actually. The cogs, Undershot.
So you were created there. You weren't born.
Created, born, same difference.
Oh, there's a huge difference.
We can agree to disagree, sir. I mean to quarrel with you.
Well, I'm not too pleased with your kind. But so far, you haven't rubbed me any way, good or bad. So, I can be a little neutral with you. It's just that, know that I'm a little agitated with your kind, mostly.
Sir, I understand, or should I say I want to attempt to understand, especially if I'm going to be working with all of you for an extended period of time. I don't wish to be a trouble or a nuisance, and I can fend for myself. Obviously, I don't have to eat. I don't sleep. I only wish to take care of my horses. You see, they're a bit more fragile than I am.
And they're mechanical too, correct?
No, they're quite alive. I actually raised them myself. And as you look, you see the gorgeous ivory white hides of Ginger and Sassafrash. And you just kind of shuffle step where they're standing as they're standing at attention in front of the coach. They were a
I'll look
gift.
over-
My previous employer gifted them to me.
I'll look over toward Siegfried. Well, Siegfried, I'll just, instead of a no, I'll make it an abstained. Since he wasn't that involved with the war, I think I just abstain anything. I won't say yes or no. I'll just leave it as is for now.
I can accept that. I'm currently at a yes, but I believe Zara and Nick both want to look at the property before we make any decisions, which I can understand that, and we'll probably do that later after all the other stuff is done. So we'll put it on the back burner for right now, Mr. R, and later on today, hopefully we'll have a decision and we can get everything sorted with you.
Well, in the meantime, if you need a ride, I'd be more than happy to give you a ride throughout the day. My schedule is, as I have explained, is 100% wide open at the moment.
Zara, Samuel, where is it we needed to go? The,
Sovereign Towers. It won't take us that long to get there, and I'm sure that the ceremony shouldn't take too long either.
Ceremony? What ceremony?
Well, apparently as it was explained to me by the Akirathont, this weapon belongs to me until I present it to a vassal of Dolaran. They're holding it in my stead at the pavilion of the host.
Oh, sounds good. What time's the ceremony, or just any time?
Zara, did it say a specific time?
For the weapon?
Yes. They said that they wanted me to bring you there.
I don't think so. She looks over the note again.
And looking over the note, it just says that your presence and his presence are requested. Doesn't have a specific time.
All right. Well, I mean, I think it's just today.
Probably not a good idea to keep them waiting.
Yeah, I don't really. Getting reprimanded by your temple is not my idea of fun.
Well, I don't think they're going to reprimand you. This is more
I know,
of a,
I know.
This is
But if we're late.
true. All right, well, I'm getting in the coach. I don't know about the rest of you.
Zara hops.
I'll jump in as well.
And again, Mr. R does the signature tap tap with his cane. The door opens, the steps lower, and each of you, if you're willing to, enter the coach.
Sure.
Mr. R, would it be possible that I sit next to you up front? I would like to talk to you a bit.
Oh, of course. And as he taps the side of the coach, the doors close up, and he says, "Up you get, Sir Siegfried."
Siegfried gets up and nods to Mr. R.
And the horses, flying horses, Pegasi if you will, extend their wings with a couple of mighty flaps. The coach lifts into the air. Whoa! After a few minutes, the Mr. R looks to you and says, "So Siegfried, so how are you enjoying your stay here in Sharn?"
I am doing well. I felt like I could ask you advice on this. As I had said, I'd been gone for a while, and I've been feeling a bit weird, and lately I've been feeling like I can't trust people, but I trust you, and I felt like trust is something I should ask you about. Only because a lot of people hate Swordforge, and yet you're so optimistic and nice, and something just happened that has me doubting some friendships, and I don't want to doubt. And I just thought maybe I could ask you advice on how you handle it.
Well, I appreciate your questions, and I'm not sure what kind of insight I could offer one such as you. I'm just a humble coach driver. But in regards to trusting people, in order to survive, I've had to do many things in the service of others. And though I'm no longer a servant per se, since the Treaty of Thornhold, I've still found myself in the service of others. And I don't quite relate to my own kind, if you get my meaning. But as far as trusting others is concerned, I feel that it is imperative to your own existence that you must find those that you can trust. If you take my drift, I am trusting you lot. You could have said no, your shifty friend. He could have destroyed me, and I wouldn't have fought back.
Yes, but Byron is one of the others I can trust, and Samuel, I'm not too sure anymore, but you are right. Sometimes you just, per se, have to go out on a limb and just trust, but there are a few things I'd like to put aside with them first, but it's only if they're willing to trust me, too. But yes, thank you, and rest assured, when we do this, if we do this, it will be a partnership, not master-servant, not you technically be working with us and not for us. It's mutual, we both get something out of it.
Well, that sounds wonderful, Sir Siegfried, of course. And just the thought of you wishing to have an amicable and he just sort of stutters and stammers as he talks. Being an equal, if you will, that's not something that I've experienced in my time. I've only been alive, if you will, for 25 years. A young man by your standards. Younger still for you, being a Cordovar, an Ardenal, if you will.
Life does not change very much, you'll find. Only you and how you view those things in life will change.
You must take care in this city, Siegfried. I've been here a long time. All of my 25 years, I've seen strange things. I've seen terrible things. And if I had a... if I had a face that could smile, I would keep that smile even in the dark times. But it looks like we're coming up on our destination here. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk to me about?
No, you've been more than helpful, and Siegfried just nods and smiles.
Says, oh, hold on! Whoa! And after a few moments, you land in the middle of the square, in the midst of Sovereign Towers. The familiar sight of the cathedral to the eastern part of the platform, and to the northern part of the platform, the pavilion of the host.
Siegfried will hop down and wait for Nick to exit the coach.
And as Nick and Zara are exiting, Zara's gonna kind of whisper to Nick, not that I know much about this, but I think it might be worth just trying to be a little more subtle, even if you're not sure about people. I mean, for your line of work, better not to draw any attention.
I was trying to be subtle. Till the fixer decided to do it in the middle of the road, but, you know,
Yeah,
he always tries the unique ways to contact.
I was going to say, that was probably one of the worst ideas I've ever saw. Like, really? Why? I was going to say hi, it's for Zara, but then I was like, this has gone too far, but anyway. Maybe you can ask him to be a little more, yeah, just a little more stealthy next.
I will. I definitely will have a conversation with him.
So are you going to tell me what you're doing in the city? And she kind of gives a little wink.
You know, I'm trying to investigate the kidnapping.
No, actually, this is news to me.
I told you this.
Of who? Of what?
Of Dimble. Kidnapping of Dimble. We went over this.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh, we have so much to do.
Zara, as you look
Zara.
around, you see Samael is looking at you, and then he's looking towards the pavilion of the host. And he gestures, he says, it's right over there. That's where we gotta go.
As Siegfried sees Zara kind of scooch away from Nick, he walks up and just whispers, Nick, I am sorry for how out of character I was earlier, but me and you really must talk later on. You can feel free to leave out what you want, but I do think it would help both of us to have a conversation.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
As much as it's hard for me to trust lately, you have to trust me for me to trust you, and I have to trust you for you to trust me. And also, I apologize if my ID and bad jokes have gotten to you here and there, and then it's all in good fun, and maybe we've all just been a bit uptight lately with everything that's been going on.
Yes, definitely. I think that we can join forces, really figure things out and what's going on with the city.
Because I know there's a lot. Dimble's just being the surface of it.
I know, which kind of worries me.
All right, well, is everyone ready to go to my ceremony? And she kind of holds out her hand to Samael to, like, take in his...
Samael looks to you, then looks back at Nicholas, and then looks to you again, and he grabs your wrist, and he just starts trudging forward. Well, let's go.
Wow. He's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
And then he turns around, and he walks back, and he grabs your wrist, Siegfried, because, come on.
He feigns. He's like, "Ah, oh, Nicholas, help me! A damsel's kidnapped by such a foul being!"
Yeah, that foul being definitely smells too.
Zara looks back and sticks her tongue out at... Oh, is this about the whole not wanting to stay at the house and him wanting to take a shower every day? All right, let's continue.
So, of course, the temple complex itself is a grand open tower that's ringed by temples dedicated to each of the 9 deities in the pantheon. And at the center pavilion, you see that it looks like there are services currently going on. And you see a dwarf man wearing vestiges standing at the center. And there is a raised dais next to him. And there's various peoples all standing around. And as you approach, the crowd parts as if it was expecting you. And you can now see that you could see a shaft of sunlight is arcing down from the clouds, piercing through the clouds onto the platform. And on the center of the platform, you see a resplendent, long-handled halberd.
Zara just gasps.
And Samael says, "Yep, I think that's for you. Let's go." And he just kind of nudges you forward with his elbow.
Yeah, I go towards it.
The dwarf turns and looks at you and says, "Well, it's about time you showed up." "I thought so."
Fossil, it's good to meet you. And she holds out her hand.
And he reaches out and he grabs you by the elbow, or your whole forearm, and shakes it. Well met. It's always good to see a vassal of Doloran. And you there, sir. And he gestures to Samael. I believe this weapon is yours. Temporarily. We got a lot to do today. I don't mean to be rude, but could we maybe speed this along? Thatso just kind of looks at Samael and then looks back to you and says, "Very well. I assume you're here for the ceremony."
Yes, of course.
And he gestures towards the dais and he says, "There you go. Take it. And he stands back about 3 feet away from it.
What does it look like?
I will share a picture with you. What is the rest of the group doing during this time?
Looking around, I'm observing.
Yeah, I'm observing as well.
I assume he never let go of my hand, so I'm just sitting there with him grabbing my wrist still, just like, can you let go?
Wow, that's beautiful. The golden wheel and the spikes and the lights. And what does it do?
Well, why don't you take it? First off,
Alright.
if you can.
Zara, she clasps her hand around it.
And you feel a warmth in your hand, a vibration, Zara, that travels up your wrist, through your forearm, into your arm. Make a Constitution save.
Alright. I rolled a 5.
There is a brilliant flash of light, and Zara, you were hurled back 10 feet. And you take 5 bludgeoning damage as you hit the back of your head onto the marble.
Oh, my head.
And the high priest says, "Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Your name is Samael, yes?" "Yes, that is my name, Samael, the Reaper." "Did you give this weapon over yet?" Take the item." Samael walks up and he places his hand hesitantly on the handle of the halberd, and nothing happens. He lifts it up and he says, "See, you haven't given it over yet. You shouldn't even be able to touch that weapon." And apparently someone in the background coughed really loud.
Listen, some people, when they're doing their business, have to cough. It's natural.
Samael looks a bit confused, looking to the high priest and back at Zara. Is Zara, you picking yourself up off the ground now?
Yes, I'm up. I'm alright. I'm alright.
And Thasso, he steps up and he says, "Now, grab it." And he stares at you intently, waiting for you to reach out and touch the halberd once again.
I go over to it and I kind of just put 2 fingers on it this time.
You feel the same vibration, though it's less intense this time.
And I try to pick it up.
Samael is currently holding it out to you. As you curl
Okay,
your
well-
fingers around it, you feel that warmth, less violent, rush through you, and your mind goes blank for a moment, and all you can see is a burning horizon. And you hear a voice inside your head that says, "I am with you. I will watch for you. I will keep you safe. I will keep your friends safe. Stay true, and I am yours." And with that, you are currently holding The halberd by yourself. Samael's hands have retreated. He is no longer holding it. And the halberd of Dolorah is now yours.
Sarah's like, yes! Is her hair, curly hair, like, all static? Like an afro?
You are currently shining golden yellow. From head to toe. This weapon is taller than you are. And it is in your inventory.
Wow. Quite a weapon right there.
And the halberd of Doloran is a special weapon. It's made of rare metals. It has engravings of watching eyes and rising suns all over it. In addition to the iconography, this magic weapon will warn you of danger. While you have it on your person, you have advantage on initiative rolls. In addition, you and any of your companions within 30 feet of you cannot be surprised, except when incapacitated or something other than non-magical sleep. The weapon will magically awake you and your companions within range if you are sleeping naturally and combat begins. And, because you are a vassal of Dolorah, this weapon functions as a holy symbol.
Guys, we now have a magical alarm clock.
That doesn't sound very alarming.
Thank you, sir, and thank you all for your presence here. And I will do my best in wielding this weapon for Dolahara always.
Well, I should hope so. I believe the previous owner died a long time ago. The way it was described to me, it came out of a tomb.
Don't all good things come from tombs?
Well, that depends on your point of view.
Yeah, if you ask me, a lot of good things end in it.
Samael says, well, it's yours now. It's not mine anymore.
Well, thank you, Samael. I appreciate it. And she kind of, she just walks back to her friends.
He walks alongside you and he says, I wanted to apologize. I probably should have given you that before we went into the sewers. It might have helped.
No, it's fine. I decided not to get it. Choices, you know. You live and you learn, or you die and you learn, and the cleric brings you back.
Indeed. Well, I guess we should get back to them and find out what they want to do next. The crowd is now dispersing, and it appears that this crowd had been waiting for you. You're not sure how long they had been waiting.
Damn, I feel important right now.
Yeah, all that for you. Pretty big.
I never thought I was really that important, but I appreciate it. Alright, so I guess not to waste a good moment, but I know we have a lot to do today, so where else do we need to go?
Did you not say you had to meet your brother?
Oh yes, I do, but in the evening for dinner. I'm sorry, guys, it might be another party tonight. If you don't have to come, but if you want to, I wouldn't mind. It's actually at the Casalantas, I believe.
Well, if we don't have anything else to do, maybe we should check out the house.
Well, I do need to meet Barnabas really quick, if you don't mind.
Yes, and maybe this time you'll remember to check the archive.
Needing a sending stone, perhaps, though.
What was I checking the archive for?
Just some information on what's been going on, like those slim Warforged things that may behind some kidnappings. Just casual information. Stuff about
True.
Dimbles or gangs that use firearms like you.
Ah, yes, that's true. I've heard. Yeah. Great idea. Shall we head to the Inquisitors?
Alright.
Well, we must inquire somewhere. As Siegfried just grins really widely from his horrible.
You know, Siegfried, I didn't know you were a punster.
I'm a very punny person, even if it requires some punishment time from time.
Alright, well, let's go.
Okay, you all make your way back to Mr. R, who graciously opens the doors once again and allows you to try ride in, and looks over to you and says, "So Siegfried, did you want to sit up here with me again?" And he pats the seat next to him up front.
I don't have anything to talk about, but there's nothing wrong with giving a friend a bit of company.
Oh, I wouldn't turn down company at all.